Hunting for Answers is a production of the Black Effect Podcast Network and iHeartRadio. Welcome to Hunting for Answers, a true crime podcast. I'm your host, Hunter, and today we're highlighting a case that began in Memphis, Tennessee. In February of 2007, it became the backdrop for a disappearance that has remained unsolved for nearly 2 decades. A 22-year-old mother clocked out of her shift at a downtown restaurant. She was last seen at work when her estranged husband picked her up. And then nothing. No calls, no sightings, no confirmed sign of where she went. 18 years later, her whereabouts remain unknown, and no one has ever been charged. This is the story of Ricarda Tillman-Lockett. Ricarda Tillman-Lockett, known to her family as Rika, was 22 years old when she disappeared. She stood 5 feet 2 inches tall, with curly brown hair and brown eyes. Ricarda was born on the Winnebago Indian Reservation. She spent much of her childhood between Sioux County, Iowa, and South Dakota, where she was raised by her aunt, Rashenda Pritchard. At 18 years old, Ricarda made the decision to move to Memphis, Tennessee. Soon after settling in Memphis, Ricarda began a relationship with a man named Lou Lockett. In June of 2025, they married. Not long after that, they welcomed their son, Donnell. But behind closed doors, the marriage was becoming unstable, and, as later documented in police records, involved violence. Just 5 days after their wedding in June 2005, police were called to Ricarda's workplace. According to police reports, Lou Lockett showed up armed with a loaded semi-automatic pistol, yelling and cursing at the doorman. In January 2007, 1 month before Ricarda disappeared, police responded to a reported domestic incident. Officers reported that Lou grabbed Ricarda, pushed her down, and choked her. They observed marks on her neck that were consistent with strangulation. Lou was arrested and charged with assault. According to police records, Ricarda told officers that Lou had threatened to kill her or her family on 3 separate occasions. After the January assault, Ricarda made a decision. She took her son and moved into a domestic violence shelter. She was planning to file for divorce. February 19th, 2007, a Monday morning. Ricarda was at her place of employment, Jillian's restaurant at Peabody Place in downtown Memphis. Around 10 a.m., she clocked out of her shift. According to Coworkers, Ricarda was seen getting into a car with Lou Lockett. Ricarda was supposed to pick up Donnell from the babysitter later that day. She never arrived. And certain details began to raise concern. Ricarda left behind her purse and cell phone. When she failed to show up for work the next day, her boss grew concerned. When she missed a second day without calling, her boss knew that something was wrong. Ricarda was a reliable employee and would not miss or be late without calling first. Her boss reported her missing to the police. Lou Lockett told investigators he picked Ricarda up from work because they shared a car. He claimed he dropped her off at his home, not at the shelter where she and their son were staying. He said she told him she loved him before he left. He claimed he then went to Whitehaven to work on a car and spent the night at his mother's house. The next day, he said he found Ricarda's phone on the charger and did not realize she was missing until the babysitter called. And staff at the domestic violence shelter said they never saw Ricarda that evening. She never returned. In March 2007, Lou Lockett participated in a television interview, denying any involvement in Ricarda's disappearance. Part of that footage was not aired at that time, but was released publicly in 2025. When asked if he missed Ricarda, he said, "That's a hard thing to say. To be honest, no. I miss her, but no." When asked where he believed she was, he said, "I truly feel that my wife is somewhere she wants to be." One of the most concerning elements of this case is a book Lou Lockett wrote in July 2006. The title has been reported slightly differently across sources, including If M Was OMB and If Mob was OMB. What matters most is what the book contained. According to family members and media reports, the book included graphic passages describing scenarios in which women were killed and human remains were disposed of, including references to the use of acid. To her family, the timing and content raised serious concern. Ricarda's father, Lester Tillman, called the book demeaning and immoral toward women. Memphis police identified Lou Lockett as a person of interest in the investigation. He was questioned multiple times, but without any physical evidence or a clear indication of what may have happened to Ricarda, authorities did not have enough evidence to make an arrest, including of Lockett or anyone else. In 2025, Shelby County Deputy District Attorney Paul Hagerman confirmed that Lou Lockett has always been a person of interest. He stated that investigators believe Lou used Ricarda's personal information and credit cards after she went missing, conduct they have long sought explanations for. In 2017, police received a lead through the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System, known as NamUs. Remains found in Oklahoma were tested. DNA from Ricarda's mother and son were compared. The results were negative. After Ricarda disappeared, Donnell was placed in the care of her aunt. A judge issued a protective order, stating that Lou posed a risk to the child's safety and had been acting strangely. The order noted that Lou had told police Ricarda was dead, despite her still being missing. He later regained custody of Donnell. At the time, the family said they had no contact with Lockett or Donnell. Nearly 2 decades later, the question remains: what happened to Ricarda Tillman-Lockett? Our thoughts are with her family and friends. Anyone with information about the disappearance of Ricarda Tillman-Lockett should contact the Memphis Police Department or CrimeStoppers. Their information is listed in the description below. As we close out this episode, remember that sharing Ricarda's story helps keep attention on her case and supports the search for answers for those who love her. For updates on this case and others, follow Hunting for Answers. You can also connect with us through our Facebook group and find us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And if there's a story you think should be highlighted on Hunting for Answers, reach out to us. Thank you for joining us for another episode. Until next time. Hunting for Answers is a production of the Black Effect Podcast Network. For more podcasts from the Black Effect Podcast Network, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows. Stay connected with our community by joining our new Facebook group. The link is in our bio.